Most parents believe that filling their home with toys is one of the best ways to support their child's development before age 3. The toy industry reinforces this message constantly, but research in developmental psychology shows that the opposite is often true. Too many toys can actually overwhelm young children's developing brains, reduce the quality of their play, and interfere with the very creativity and focus we're trying to nurture. What your child truly needs during these critical early years is not more toys. It's something entirely different, and understanding this difference can change everything about how they learn, explore, and grow. If you've noticed your child seems overwhelmed by their playroom, struggles to focus on any single activity, or constantly asks for new toys without deeply engaging with what they already have, this video will help you understand what's happening in their developing brain and what you can offer instead. Here's the toy trap that most loving parents fall into. You want to give your child every advantage. You see educational toys marketed as essential for development. You receive toys as gifts. You think that variety and abundance will stimulate learning and keep your child engaged. The playroom fills up, shelves overflow, and somehow, despite having access to dozens or even hundreds of toys, your child seems bored, distracted, and unable to play deeply with anything. Research in child development shows that this is not a coincidence. Studies have found that when young children are presented with too many toys at once, they actually play less creatively and for shorter periods than children who have access to just a few simple items. The developing brain becomes overwhelmed by choice and overstimulated by competing visual and sensory inputs. Neuroscience tells us that before age 3, the brain is building foundational pathways for attention, creativity, and problem solving. These pathways develop through sustained, focused engagement with materials. When the environment is cluttered with too many options, the child's brain shifts into a mode of rapid scanning and switching rather than deep exploration. They pick up one toy, put it down, reach for another, never settling into the kind of concentrated play that actually supports cognitive development. What children truly need is simplicity, open-ended materials that can be used in multiple ways, blocks, fabric, containers, simple figures, household objects like wooden spoons, boxes, or bowls. These basic materials, presented in a calm, uncluttered environment, allow for the kind of exploratory and imaginative play that builds genuine intelligence and creativity. Developmental psychology finds that children engage more deeply and for longer periods when they have fewer, simpler materials. Their play becomes more complex. They discover multiple uses for the same object. They create narratives. They problem solve when they can't simply reach for a different toy designed for a specific purpose. The simplicity allows their brain the space to imagine, to experiment, to focus without constant distraction. From a neuroscience perspective, this matters profoundly during the first 3 years. The brain is developing executive function skills like sustained attention, working memory, and cognitive flexibility. These skills are built through self-directed play where the child decides what to do, how to do it, and for how long. Complex, battery-operated toys that do things for the child or that have only one correct way to play actually prevent this kind of developmental work. Simple materials that respond to the child's imagination support it. Research shows that children who engage regularly in open-ended play with simple materials demonstrate stronger problem-solving abilities, more creative thinking, better focus, and greater independence than children whose play is dominated by complex, purpose-specific toys. The brain benefits from the challenge of creating meaning and purpose from simple materials, rather than simply consuming entertainment from sophisticated toys. But here's what matters even more than the toys themselves. It's your emotional presence during play. Young children don't need parents to constantly engage, direct, or entertain them. What they need is a calm, steady presence nearby while they explore independently. Your regulated nervous system communicating safety while they discover and create on their own. Developmental psychology finds that children whose parents remain quietly present but not interfering during play develop stronger self-regulation, longer attention spans, and more confidence in their own capability. The parent's calm presence provides security. The lack of interference allows the child's brain to practice directing itself, making choices, and sustaining focus without external input.
This is very different from the message our culture sends. We're told that good parenting means constant engagement, teaching, and interaction. But research shows that young children actually benefit from significant periods where they play independently with the security of a caregiver nearby but not actively involved. This is when the brain practices the kind of self-directed exploration and sustained attention that builds genuine intelligence and creativity. What to offer your child instead of more toys is this: space. Uncluttered, calm physical space with just a few simple materials available at any time. Long, uninterrupted periods where they can engage with those materials without being redirected or interrupted. And presence. Your calm, available but not interfering presence nearby while they explore. You can rotate materials periodically to provide novelty without overwhelming. You can observe what captures their attention and offer slightly more complex versions of those materials as they grow. But the foundation remains the same: simplicity, space, time, presence. This approach requires parents to resist cultural pressure and marketing messages. It requires trusting that less is genuinely more for the developing brain. It requires becoming comfortable with your child's independent play rather than feeling you must constantly entertain or teach. But the benefits are profound. Children raised with this approach often show deeper focus, richer imagination, stronger problem-solving skills, and greater emotional regulation than children raised in overstimulating, toy-filled environments. Their brains have been given the space and simplicity they needed to develop genuine capacity rather than being trained to constantly seek external stimulation. You don't need to buy more toys to raise a happy, healthy, intelligent child. You need to create the conditions that allow their developing brain to do what it's designed to do, which is explore, imagine, and create meaning from the world around them. Those conditions are simplicity, space, time, and your calm presence. Everything else is optional at best and potentially overwhelming at worst. Start by simplifying your child's play environment. Put most toys away, leave out just 4 or 5 simple, open-ended items. Observe how your child's play changes over the next week. Notice whether they engage more deeply, play for longer periods, or create more complex scenarios. Many parents are surprised to discover that their child becomes calmer, more focused, and more creative when the environment is simplified. Your presence matters more than any toy. Your trust in their capacity to direct their own exploration matters more than the latest educational product. The space you create for them to discover and imagine matters more than filling that space with objects. If this changes how you think about toys and development, share it with other parents who might be caught in the same cycle of buying more without seeing the engagement they hoped for. And stay here for more science-based guidance on supporting your child's development in ways that truly align with how young brains learn and grow.